is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Weapon Collective. Down in the Gat Cave again today, and I'm making a really quick video on something that I picked up today. You all know what it is. You've seen the screenshot. So we are looking at the new Aimpoint Coa. And the only way you can get these things right now is on a Glock handgun. They're currently available on Glock 19s, Glock 45s, Glock 47s, Glock 48, and Glock 43X. So you have a few models that you can choose to get a Coa. It is nice that it fits both the slimline and the regular size slides. And so I did have to pick up a new Glock, which I'm not all that unhappy about because I haven't bought a polymer striker fired pistol in quite some time. Haven't shot one in quite some time. Been so focused on the 2011s that I haven't really had much reason to be looking at a Glock in particular. But since this marriage between Aimpoint and Glock for this product, you can only get it by purchasing a Glock handgun. So I thought, what the heck, let's do it. And I actually bought it on this Glock 19 and then swapped it out to this Glock 45 frame that I made some modifications to. So start out, you have this really beautifully stippled Glock 45 frame. And then I dropped Timney Alpha trigger in there, which is far superior to the stock Glock trigger. And I did put a Radian afterburner compensator and Radian ramjet barrel in there. So this thing should shoot fairly decent. I'm not gonna lie, these afterburners are sweet. And with this trigger, ooh, so much better than a stock Glock trigger. I mean, it's still a polymer striker fired pistol, so you have a lot of take up to that wall, and then a little mush and nice crisp break, but then you have an extra big long reset on there. Big one. And then you're right back there and no mush after the reset. But so I am a big Timney Alpha trigger in Glocks. I think that's the best one I've used in a Glock personally. But back to the handgun. So it does also have a Mod Light PL350C, and this is the compact Mod Light. Still very bright. They just shrunk that head down, and the only thing about it is holster compatibility. So I might end up running a Surefire depending on how it fits in my holsters. That's yet to be determined. Back to this Aimpoint. Like I said, you can only get it on a Glock right now, but my hope is that in the future, this footprint, which they're calling the A cut, and it basically, I'll show you what that looks like. So you basically have these rear iron sights on this that you unscrew 2 screws and that comes off. And then you can see there's a big toe on the front of this Aimpoint and a big recess cut up here. That slides under there and sits down, and what it's sitting in, they call their A cut. So there's basically 2 channels running down the sides. Secured under that toe is secured under that ledge, and then it is secured down with that rear iron sight. So your lateral movement is mitigated by that channel that it sits in. You can see the bottom of the optic. It's riding in there like a little saddle. And personally, I think this thing is going to be a very robust mounting system. It is always difficult when you have kind of a set standard of the way that people have been doing optics for the last decade, and certain plates, footprints, and direct mills. I gotta salute Aimpoint for going, we're doing something totally new and trying, and not just going with the existing footprints that are out there. It's kind of bittersweet because this could potentially be the most secure mounting system, and it's very easy to install for sure. Just 2 screws on this rear iron sight. Now I definitely would suggest using some Vibratite, some thread locker of some sort to secure that rear plate, because once this comes loose, everything's done. But that's similar to all mounting optics have that common problem. But on this, I really hope to see this just being released across the board, and I could take a pistol, a new 2011, and just have the A-cut put into that slide, or they develop some sort of plate system. Although I think once you start doing that, you're gonna just start sitting too high, because the other good thing about this is how low the optic sits in on the slide. You're always wanting to get as low as possible, and this one achieves it. Let me screw this back on. Okay, so I'm just a big supporter of companies that are innovating, and as far as Glock goes in this, they're not innovating anything. They refuse to. They've just been cranking out the same old stuff. And I guess they got in this relationship with Aimpoint, which I wouldn't call innovation by any stretch, but Aimpoint, half innovation here for innovating a new footprint. But the optic itself is basically, it is electronically an Aimpoint Acro P2. And what they did is they took the internals of that P2, except they really slimmed the housing down. So you can see the size differential there. Much thicker outer housing on the Acro. And talking to the guys at SHOT Show, what they did, and I didn't know this until I spoke with them, but the way that you're adjusting the reticle on an Acro is there's this bigger outer housing, and then there's another housing inside that when you make the windage and elevation adjustments, you're moving that inner housing around. And interesting to find that out, but on the Coa, which just has the outer housing, much slimmer profile, and when you make windage and elevation adjustments on this, you are actually moving the diode. So I don't know if that means more precise. It definitely translates to a smaller optic, which is nice, more situational awareness. On the sides, when you're looking through the window, you can actually see your peripheral much better. But so it's, like I said, half innovation points for at least improving the Acro to the Coa, and then innovating a new footprint, which in theory will be released out into public, and you'll be able to put it on any pistol moving forward. That's yet to be seen. They didn't say that's the plan. All I know is that they are in this relationship with Glock through 2025. We'll see where it goes from there, but it is a nice little compact Acro improvement, I would say. I like the look of it, shape, the profile, everything. It has very tactile adjustment buttons that you can hear. You could operate this with gloves on, no problem. You have elevation and windage adjustments on either side. This is submersible to 25 meters, which is 82 feet. That's pretty deep to be down there with the red dot. And then it has 12 settings on the brightness. The 1 through 4 are for night vision, 5 through 12 for daylight. It does run a CR2032 battery that you access right here on the side. And that battery life is the Aimpoint battery life. So still 50,000 hours, 5 years of continuous on. And I love Aimpoint, never had a problem with any of my Aimpoint products. I've been very impressed with them. The battery life is phenomenal. And I'm just anxious to shoot this thing. Once again, I haven't shot a polymer striker fired handgun in some time and needed a reason to do so. And I think this achieves that. I definitely want to go get this out on the range and just put it up against a normal Acro and see if I am noticing a difference in those optics. Because when I look through them now, it is definitely such a bulkier optic. I never had that impression before, and sometimes it's only until you see it up against the latest and greatest that you really recognize the I wouldn't call them problems, but maybe deficiencies. And that is a really thick wall on the outside of that. But I am an acro fan. I will say, as I've said on the channel many times, I'm a Trijicon SRO guy at the moment. That's my favorite. But think about potentially maybe an SRO being able to use a cut in a slide moving forward. Who knows? There's a lot of potential for it, but we'll see. That is all to be determined. But I just wanted to share this with you guys. Pretty cool little new optic. I'm always interested in checking out a new red dot. So this is the Aimpoint on what is now a Glock 45. Okay, so that is the new Aimpoint Coa red dot, and on that new, what is now a G45 Glock pistol. And we'll get that out on the range and have some fun with it, see how it goes. Quick little video, just wanted to share that with you. That came in today, picked that up, and I'm excited about it. So let me know your thoughts. Is it just redundancy, waste of time? What do you think about the A cut? Is it just nonsense, gonna fade into obscurity, or will it become a prominent footprint? Let me hear what you guys think. That's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I'm Jeff for the Weapon Collective, reminding you, keep your weapons collected and keep collecting your weapons. I'll catch you next time.